Hi, one of the concepts that's covered in fifth grade is, in fourth grade is electromagnets. It's a little bit of a difficult concept, and it's just barely introduced there. And again, it comes up in sixth grade, and I find that it's, again, a little bit of a struggle for them to understand the concept, but they do enjoy creating electromagnets. I personally have a hard time communicating to them very well the instructions, so sometimes they sort it out on their own more effectively than the way I choose to explain it for whatever reason. The kids that like to do hands-on things and kids that tinker with cars, they really enjoy doing this kind of stuff, so sometimes they are better helpers than I am for that. But you will have several different sizes of nails and bolts. This is a great time to be testing for different variables. You'll have a lab sheet where they're testing for different sizes of nails or bolts, or the number of winds around there to see how effective it will be. So you're going to take your magnetic wire and you're going to wrap it as tightly as possible around your core. It needs to be wrapped close together and not overlapping. Because they struggle to do that, and at the end of class, then they unwind it all, and you end up with a lot of very messed up wire. A lot of times I pre-wrap this for them and then give them different ones to test out so that they can collect the data from it, rather than having them wind and unwind the wire for every single class period. But you're going to wind it around there, you're going to connect it to your D cell, and then you're going to lift your paper clips. Obviously, the more paper clips, the stronger your electromagnet is, and then when you take it off, then you've interrupted the flow of electricity, and the magnet does not it's no longer a magnet. Another thing you can do with it that's kind of surprising to them is to get out some of those compasses, and as you move the magnet around, you can turn the hand on the compass, so they have a good time with that. So you've got several different sizes of nails and bolts that you can try that with. Undo this because it does tend to weaken your batteries fairly quickly, so you don't want to leave those connected when you're not actually using them. Another thing that uses electromagnets that they may or may not be aware is a motor. So you're receiving a little demo motor like this, which is going to be a larger version of electromagnet, to give them an idea of how a motor works. That you need to be sure the contacts are very good on that. It's just going to take a AA battery. That's all it takes to do this. You have these little brushes on the side, make sure they're making good contact here, and then you've got your magnets on either side. I'm going to hold this. I didn't grab my AA battery holder. But after you make your complete circuit, then you're going to turn this center piece perpendicular to the two magnets, and as soon as you let go, the electrical current is going to turn that the electromagnet on, and it's going to cause that metal to spin as it goes from the from the north to the south. And that's all that a motor is that electromagnet on the inside. So if you actually take some of the little motors that you might have from your electrical circuits and you pop off this white end, this is what you're going to see on the inside, which might be very fascinating for them to realize that this is what's making this turn. Another fun thing that you can do with this is students don't often realize that there is a polarity also with this. So if you connect it to your D cell, you can cause the motor to spin, which is pretty much expected, and that makes it work. I've put tape on the end, just a little masking tape, so that they can see that this is turning around. But what they may not realize is that if they switch and put the alligator clips on the opposite end, so you're reversing your current, it also reverses the motor. So you can cause that to spin the other direction. And they just have fun using that. Obviously the motor in your car doesn't work that way, but you do have to hook up your motor in your car correctly or you have a problem. So motors and generators are touched on. Mostly it's to encourage them to understand how electromagnets are used. Oh, one other thing. With this magnetic wire, usually we're used to stripping the ends of wire in order for it to be used. It's very hard to tell, but this actually does have a coating. This is a copper wire that's used for this. The typical stripper that you use is not going to be effective to try to peel that off. This is more like a paint coating. You're going to want to take a knife or something and just scrape it, and then you'll have a bare end on the edge, but it's almost the same color as the copper, so that you'll have to scrape it loose, and it's not already a bare wire. Using a bare wire will not allow the electric current to flow in a circle to create your magnet.